I mean, it could be from the constant dangers of the wizarding world and the impending fear of Voldemort taking over. It could be from having to return to your reality after experiencing fun times playing Quidditch and casting spells in your dream world. Or it could simply be because it's 4:48 a.m. and you are in desperate need of sleep. Y'all better place me in Slytherin when you script me as the villain of your reality, because I'm fiercely determined to break down why reality shifting is dangerous, and nothing is going to stop me from achieving my goal. And because not all gingers are Weasleys, okay? I guess all that's left to say is Accio intro. Hey Girl Scout, what's shakin'? How have you been? I personally have been kinda stressed, so I've taken to working hard at applying anxiety coping skills throughout the day, followed by treating myself to a nice break in the evening by escaping into a video game or book to unwind before bed. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life and Rabbits by Terry Miles have been my respective choices, but I'm definitely open to suggestions in the comments. Yes, temporarily escaping from reality for a bit is a fantastic way to give yourself space to relax before things become too much and you become vulnerable to negative coping and burnout. Gaming, books, even daydreaming are all good examples of this, but sometimes there can be too much of a good thing. I mean, just think of how glorified dissociation has become on TikTok. And really, what would TikTok be without idealizing that bad side of things into some quirky, cute community? Enter reality shifting TikTok. Or shift talk as they like to call it.
People like myself who believe in the multiverse theory believe that there are infinite number of realities within the multiverse, kind of like the MCU. And in some of these universes, you exist, and when you're shifting, you're moving your awareness from your consciousness in this reality to your consciousness in another reality. The perspective theory believes that your brain creates the reality around you, so you see your hand the way that you see it because your brain is making you do that. These people believe that shifting is just having your brain change the way you see reality around you. When you shift, you leave your OR/CR and go to a DR. OR stands for original reality, but it's also called a current reality, and DR stands for desired reality. You can script where you want to go, which is basically writing down or specifying what place you want to go and what things you want to happen, but once you get to that reality, you can't control things there, and it is as real as this.
Not my cup of tea, but maybe I'm just in a reality where I prefer coffee instead. All I can say is, I'm not too worried about a version of me shifting to this reality, because there is no way that any version of me in the entire multiverse would ever script in that their dream job was evaluating TikTok trends for a living. Although Blaze is a pretty cute boyfriend, so I wouldn't blame alternate Grace if she did it for him. Joking aside, I have no issues with people choosing to believe in this, because, like with religion, I don't care how other people choose to live their lives, if it doesn't affect anyone negatively. Lots of emphasis on that. And unfortunately, like with most things we cover on the channel, reality shifting is doing just that. Like with every belief system that tackles the unanswered questions of the universe, the shifting community is riddled with extremism and cultish behavior that's leading people down a path of avoiding their real-life problems in favor of focusing solely on their other world, which, as you can probably imagine, has devastating consequences. We're going to be deep diving here, so let's start with the surface issues, namely the emphasis of comfort characters and being in relationships with them.
Hey, what are you gonna do when you see a comfort character for the first time? I'm gonna No, I'm actually gonna provide them comfort and, you know, give them a big hug, because they've been through so much. The amount of trauma that they have. Oh, that's actually super sweet. And then I'm gonna
Yeah, that's great, but I want to see the good stuff. Where are the people simping for Mr. Ratburn from Arthur? Where's the mid-20s gang living out their early 2000s dream of meeting Jude from 16? Look, I feel like claiming these fictional characters can exist is where you lose all credibility to me. But even still, my opinion aside, it just feels predatory to emphasize this type of physical relationship to a community made up of a lot of minors, especially when a lot of the characters are meant to be adult age. There shouldn't be idealized situations and realities where adult minor relationships are acceptable, or where you justify that it's okay because it's not actually happening in this reality, so it's not harmful. The fact of the matter is, it's widely criticized for good reason, and believing otherwise in a world where it's rightfully demonized is gross and dangerous. Not everyone following shifting is going to draw the line from their imagination or desired reality. And it's just encouraging the wrong types of mindsets on what social practices are okay. I mean, hello? We all seem pretty in agreement that lollies depict children, so even if it's not real, it's still not okay, right? We call out the people who justify it because you know they're using the cartoons as a way to live out their disgusting fantasies. So why is it suddenly okay in this context? Obviously, you can't stop people from thinking what they think, but you can definitely refrain from encouraging this type of thinking, knowing that your audience is riddled with minors. I guess I've seen stranger things than this, but this concept of Eddie Munson being real is really turning my world upside down. I'm really not a fan of the fact that these fictional characters are such a large selling point in the community. Why? Because these are characters that a lot of kids daydream about when they're feeling lonely or lacking. If you're gonna tell vulnerable people that they can feel loved by whoever they want in their desired reality and the person will be a perfect partner, it really feels irresponsible not to discuss the balance between indulging in those fantasies and having to face reality. This reality. Where to find lasting love, you have to accept that people will have flaws and recognize that perfection can't exist. If you think I'm reaching, let me put it into perspective for you. Some people are so attached to the characters that they claim to be with in their desired realities that they actually get jealous of other shifters who love the same fictional character in their desired reality. To the point where the community has to come and smooth things over and make things all perfect and no negative vibes again.
Just remembered this was a thing. The comfort characters you have in your DR and the comfort characters that are in someone else's DR, even if they are the same DR and they are technically the same people, they are two different people, two different groups of people. They are not the same. They are in literal different realities. It's possible they could do things slightly differently. Why? Because you are an influence there. Your existence can change things more than you realize. The same goes for in someone else's DR. And I know it's easy to get jealous that other people are shifting for the same person you might be shifting for. But they're different people. They're the same, but they're different. There's no reason to get jealous, there's no reason to get defensive, because it's not the same person. That person in someone else's DR doesn't even know that you exist. Your person knows that you exist and loves you regardless. They wouldn't even look at that other person who has them in their DR because they're your person. I remembered that this was the source of some conflict a while ago, so, yeah.
How dare other people think the same thoughts as me? How could I possibly claim to be not like other girls if someone else is fixing the character's loneliness in their world? They're supposed to see me as this perfect being that came into their life and changed it when no one else could. And you doing that too means that I'm not special anymore. You're gonna have to find someone else to love in your desired reality, and I order you to stop thinking the thoughts that you're thinking about my love. I'll know if you think them too, because I can shift to realities where I read minds. Do we see how intense this is? How people are so ill-equipped at dealing with negative emotions that they escape to a place where everything is perfect and they're seen as amazing, and that even the mere idea of someone else sharing a fictional character as comfort evokes jealousy? Shifting is clearly encouraging people to not face their negative emotions and instead escape to a world where they never have to feel badly, so they never learn how to process these feelings, or think about the consequences of their actions. Next time I do something I regret, I'm just gonna shift away to another reality where it didn't happen. Yeah, I'll have to come back to this reality at some point and I'll still be failing class or in a fight with all my friends. But at least I didn't have to experience the consequences of my actions. Yeah, and every time it comes up again, I'll just shift away until the conversation's over. Easy. Good thing I can shift, because losing all my personal relationships and not being able to pursue a higher education will definitely lead to a lot of negative feelings down the line. But I'll never have to face them as long as I can venture off into realities where they don't happen. Alternatively, I could apologize for hurting my friend's feelings to resolve the miscommunication in 3 minutes, and then get clarification on the math equations I didn't understand for next time. But that requires feeling embarrassed and vulnerable. Honestly, a few moments of feeling uncomfortable to nip an issue in the bud before it becomes something bigger than it needs to be is a great way to learn and grow. Being wrong, making mistakes, and having hardships all make us stronger and better at facing things that crop up in the future. We can use our pain to inspire others through their pain. Avoiding an issue entirely will never solve it. And shifting, daydreaming, dissociating, whatever you want to call it, always leads you back to this reality eventually. So shouldn't you make it the best possible place to return to after your temporary escape? I don't think your beliefs ever have to contradict being a good person and trying your best. And unknowns can coexist peacefully with reality, as shown with a lot of normal people who believe in shifting or religion but don't use it to excuse bad behavior. Avoidance aside, the proof that shifting is real videos are just, ugh. She proved the existence of a multiverse using this one weird tip. Scientists hate her. How could I have doubted when you're obviously passing your biotest using shifting? I mean, she even posted her grades, so it's absolutely irrefutable. She totally couldn't have lied about studying. This is like huge. We need to get her on the news. No, even more. We need to get her on Joe Rogan with Elon Musk and have her explain to everyone how the multiverse works.
Have you ever done DMT?
Up until she posted this TikTok, no one else has been able to prove it before now. I don't know about you guys, but I personally would grab some lottery numbers or warn the world about impending catastrophes. But yeah, science class sucks, I guess. Who needs to stop World War III when you could be snuggling up to your one and only love, Yvonne of the Yukon, while he praises you for your perfect GPA? Yes, people actually believe her. And then you get the people with the educated guesses coming in, saying things that could happen or could not, and people believe them because it sounds plausible.
Okay, so it is currently 2026 in my DR, and a lot of people all the time ask me if I can, prove shifting is real by kind of calling something, saying that, what's going to happen before it happens here because it already happened in my DR. Now, I really don't like doing this, and the sole reason for that is 80% of things in, pop culture, technology, all that jazz, 80% of the things that have happened in my DR so far that then later happened here haven't matched up. So therefore, I don't like to, say, oh, this is going to happen when I can't guarantee that. I did kind of do this with the Grammys. I said, this year's Grammys, I was like, well, in my DR, this and this and this is how it went. And it was the exact same here, but that was just that was more of a one-time thing. I didn't want to make a habit out of it or get carried away.
So, sometimes I predict things that are right, but sometimes I get them wrong. But it's not me being wrong, obviously. It's reality's fault for being so unpredictable. Smart move. Cover yourself by saying things always change so it may not happen to make sure no one can discredit your solid proof. Still not convinced that shifting's real for some weird reason? Well, watch this then. Checkmate, atheists. Nobody lies online, so even if you can't do it yourself to see the proof, it just means that you're not a powerful enough shifter yet and you need to take more time to learn. You'll get there. It might take 20 or 40 or 75 years, but just Keep believing in the meantime, and don't ever doubt yourself or shifting, or else it will never happen and you'll never get to be happy and live your dream life ever. You'll always be miserable. How are people not seeing this as a toxic community? I went through the comments of these TikToks, and it's people looking up to self-proclaimed skilled shifters without doubting them because they're vulnerable and want to believe. Anyone can lie and sell you idealized dreams using unproven concepts and vague guesses to how the future is going to go. It's okay to have faith in these things, but there's a line where it's important to remain logical so that you're not putting everything you have into unknowns and solely relying on them to feel happy and fulfilled. Just look at the defensiveness and anger from shifters when people doubt them.
I cannot believe that this shifting stuff is still on TikTok. Like, all the time I see these girls on my For You page talking about how Draco and Harry are their bestest friends and they play Quidditch and they're little wizards. Like, come on. Like you have to be, like, psychotic, like, actually, like, out of your mind to, like, believe in shifting. Like, you guys need help. You need help. Honestly, like, you're just chasing, like, clout. Like, you're clout chasers. But anyways, it's not real. I'm not hating or, like, trying to be mean. I'm just saying that you guys need help and, like, you're stupid and, like, this whole thing is fake. Like, you can't create worlds. Like, that's ridiculous. So please, get help. And that's all. I'm not telling you what to do, but, like, love you.
I want to say you catch more flies with honey, but seeing how my cat has a higher success rate when she viciously attacks them, what do I know? What I do know is that there are always going to be people who are agnostic to life's unanswered questions, and them clarifying things isn't always an attack. Like, here's one for you. How are fictional characters real in other realities when the characters are only real because actors play them? Does the actor not exist and they're still the character instead? Or does the actor still exist but they played them in a non-fiction setting because the person actually exists? And regardless of those two questions, how is the character in their world non-fiction if all of this was created by someone in their mind? Shifters, explain.
America, explain!
And is it really that unbelievable that some people are genuinely concerned about these people's mental health? I know I am. Sure, some people can be very aggressive and make fun of others' beliefs, but a lot of people bring up very good points. The glorification of shifting to escape mental illness doesn't take any digging to find on the platform. There is clear pain in a lot of shifters, and I think that there are too many people to brush off and ignore. It's totally possible that a lot of the people in the community who believe in shifting do have a healthy balance between reality and their shifting. But when the platform is overrun with people looking up to you who aren't coping well and you're encouraging it, that's an issue. Look at how distraught some of these people get when they have to come back to the real world and face the negative things they feel. This is sad. We need those afflicted by negative feelings to be ready with the right tools to attack them while knowing their limits, so that they can retreat when they need to regroup and gather more supplies, not so that they can run and run and run until they're lost and those negative feelings can ambush them unexpectedly while they have no way of protecting themselves. It's affecting people's perceptions of reality. People don't want their healthy relationships and friendships in the real world anymore. They think there's always going to be something better in their desired reality. They run and they set impossible standards as a way of justifying their running away. There's even a few terms called perma-shifting and respawning, where shifters believe that they can permanently leave this reality and never return. Perma-shifting is put on a pedestal by many people, and a lot of influential shifters support those who want to do it instead of acknowledging why they want to leave forever. Those who want to perma-shift hate their lives so much that they do not want to live in this reality anymore, and the community responds by saying that they support their choice. not with resources to help their clearly deteriorating mental health, but by saying, "Awesome, so valid and great of you to leave forever." Okay, let's apply that logic elsewhere. Being on crack makes you feel better than when you're not on crack? Definitely do it 24/7 then.
There goes the crackhead that I see each morning. Oh shit, she is
so valid. Yay crack.
We can have controlled ways to use these resources as healthy coping, like scheduled times for escaping or taking approved medications that still allow us to be present but maybe make it easier to tackle negative feelings. Like in cults, these people are hearing the leaders promise them great things, encouraging practices that are questioned by outsiders, and telling them that those people are just sad non-believers if they inquire about it. But they brush over the harmful effects that withdrawing from society has, and the vulnerable put their trust in those giving them validation despite a lack of proof of their words meaning anything at all. And no, saying cult is not an exaggeration, because we can now talk about the other word I mentioned before called respawning to really highlight this issue. So to differentiate, shifters believe that perma-shifting means your current self will be controlled by a clone, which is just your subconscious doing exactly what you do if you weren't shifted away. But respawning, on the other hand, means making your current self no longer alive in this reality so that you can permanently live in another one. Yes, it implies exactly what it sounds like. And while a lot of the community speak out against this, there are tons of shifters who support it and glamorize it. You know how those cult leaders would promise their followers if they left their physical bodies behind that they would get to go to heaven or wherever they believed in? And you remember how we were all like, that's really messed up. But because those people were so wanting to believe that this better world was waiting for them, they did it by the masses anyways. It's not far-fetched to make that jump when even on TikTok, this is a topic that some speak positively on. Let me make this very clear. This is absolutely unacceptable, and I'm shocked that TikTok isn't doing anything about this. Anyone watching right now who is enticed by the idea of perma-shifting or respawning to escape their pain needs to know that someone making all of these empty promises of fixing everything is preying on you. You are strong enough to face your emotions. They are projecting their unwillingness to try onto you. And you don't have to let other people make you into a victim when you're not one. Don't be afraid to speak out if you disagree with something that the majority of the community ignores. Have doubts and ask questions. And know that you can believe in what you want while having limits on those beliefs to keep you healthy. Those limits don't mean you're not any less of a member of that community. And anyone in that community that tells you otherwise is not respecting your boundaries and is basically the shifting equivalent of an extremist. At least some other people are also speaking out against this. Opposing critical thinking and being condescending to those who leave the community or who want to give up if they aren't seeing results. Being kind and welcoming to those who seek to shift because they're vulnerable and promising anything they want if they join. And even encouraging others to do harmful things to themselves. This isn't just some ooh-woo trend to sweep under the rug. The aspect of avoiding real people, hobbies, and schoolwork in favor of the ones outside of this reality is a self-destructive loop, where the isolation or lack of purpose pushes them further into their own imaginations. I will credit the community for pushing back on people who glorify trauma by trying to shift to realities where they experience it, but I just don't think that's good enough. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad this is being acknowledged, but it doesn't excuse the rest of the toxicity that this community has. Encouraging people to run away because of the pain they experience in their everyday life? Not okay. Recognize that these people are suffering and need help dealing with their problems, and that you're only confirming their belief that it isn't worth trying to fight their demons and that they should just give up. What happens if they can't shift and this negative mindset is instilled in them? They'll be completely devoid of motivation, never bothering to try in the hopes that they'll eventually be able to escape. It quickly turns from religion to cult. Their whole life dedicated to this one thing that should be one of many tools to help and not the sole answer to everything. I guess we can only dream that TikTok will stop allowing this toxic stuff to get spread around. Maybe I should try reality shifting to a world where people don't try to cope unhealthily by attempting to shift realities forever. What do you guys think? If you agree with what I'm saying and want this to be spread around more, then please let that YouTube algorithm know by liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. You can also let me know your thoughts over on my Discord, link in the description, or support the channel via a super thanks comment or grabbing some merch. And let me know of any other alarming TikTok trends down below if you'd like me to cover them in the future. And that's all from me. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I shall see you all in the next video. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Thanks for watching.